touch your dick a little bit.
A puss.
Can I
A
see
pussy.
the
I mean
The great. They want to see
Kinda
the
dick is
dick.
that?
And who wants to see the dick?
You know, when
We
trying
make
to-
out.
So it just depends on. Welcome back to Flatulent Thoughts. This is your host Manny with the lovely Rosie.
Oh yes.
And today we're gonna
Well,
speak
thank you
about.
for introducing me.
I know. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get into it.
Yeah,
Today
that
we're gonna
was-
speak about.
I wasn't done.
Oh,
Really?
okay. Jesus.
I wanted to say thanks for actually saying my name this time and not having me have to say it. Like, that was pretty. Gave me extra time to like relax my tongue and stuff.
Relax your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're sipping on something right now.
Yeah.
You want to tell listeners what you're sipping on?
No.
No. It's tequila. Oh, that was a secret?
I don't care. Whatever.
Okay. So what are we talking about today?
I don't know.
So we were doing an episode on something we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're not quite prepared this time, but we just decided to like just wing it, like just jump on the mic. And,
By the record, that's
could
probably
jump on
a
a dick.
terrible idea.
I mean, sometimes it's okay to just flow. Just, you know.
I mean, in relationships, I think that's important, right? To be sporadic and kind of like spur of the moment kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
don't
that
don't
kinda
have
keeps it
everything
spicy and
don't have everything planned. Sometimes you gotta just bend her over and just while she's making that
just give her
nice
the
rice.
zing, just zing.
The zing. I don't think anyone says that.
No,
The zing. What are you like in the 70s?
I don't know. I feel like that's something you probably say in Guyana or something.
No, you give it a D. Give it a D.
That's so fetch and so old.
Fetch. Oh, that's old too.
Yeah,
So what do they say now? Give it an eggplant.
probably.
That's that doesn't even have
So-
doesn't even flow good.
Anyway, though, I've been cruising through,
Cruising.
lurking.
I'm being very picky about every word you choose.
I know, it's kind of like, get off my nutsack.
Okay. Your ovary sack. Okay. Your
Yeah.
ovary cabinets.
So I was cruising through Instagram and I seen a scenario someone posted and I thought it was kind of interesting.
So you want to talk about that?
So yeah, we could talk about
So
that.
you want to read it so everyone is on the same page?
Well, I'm not going to read exactly everything. I'll just give the scenario. This person mentioned that they had went on a date.
Blind date?
I guess it's probably like one of those Tinder hookups.
Okay.
And the person that she went on a date with joked around and said, "What would you think of me if I worked at
Just so for the listeners, so is this a man and a woman on a date?
I mean, does it have to matter?
I guess it doesn't really.
Does it
So
matter
which
if
one
it is a
said?
man or woman?
So which one said this?
I don't think it matters in this case. We're just setting the scenario. Two individuals went on a date. Individual A
Jack and Jill,
went up the hill.
ex Jill, ex Jack.
Can I see your eggplant?
I don't think Jack had eggplant. He was more of a carrot kind of guy.
He had a beanstalk.
I think we're getting off topic here.
Two
This
different
is what happens when we don't
two-
plan.
two different stories there.
Beanstalk.
Anyway, so she they went on a date and one individual kind of joked around and said, you know, what would you think of me if I worked at
Fast food joint.
a fast food joint? Or let's say something that's kind of like
A Jack in the
everyone,
Box.
well, that everyone kind of rates lower on the
I mean,
scale
fast food
of
joint.
jobs.
Fast food joint. Like you flip burgers.
Okay. So what would you
think it's fair
do
enough.
if I worked at a fast food place
Instead of working somewhere
instead
like
of Wall
Wall
Street,
Street,
or
yeah,
a
okay.
lawyer or
doctor, 6 figures,
a manager for something, whatever.
Staples.
So the other individual's response was they felt in their heart, they knew that they didn't work there, but the person was just like, I guess, putting out the scenario. But to answer their question,
The poster, the person who posted
the question, or the person,
the person who you posted
whose
what
story
you're
it
reading.
is, whose situation it was, said that no, they wouldn't go further with that person if they did work at a fast food joint.
That was her words.
Here you go with the her.
Was that the person's? See, this is getting confusing because it's like her, him, he, who, and then person A, B, C, D. It's like, who the hell are we talking about here? So person A went on a date with person B.
Right.
Person A asks, no, wait.
It
person
doesn't
B,
matter who.
well, no, I just want to be clear. Person B asks person A, hey, listen, if I worked at a fast food joint, would you still date me or would you still mess around with me?
Mm-hmm.
Person A, who's the poster, said,
no,
nah, I'm good on that.
Right.
Okay.
So the person B said, well, nice to meet you, but I'm not interested. You can get up and leave the table first, so it doesn't look like I'm standing you up or not standing you up, but it doesn't look like
making a scene.
Yeah, or to embarrass you.
Okay.
So person A, the poster, felt like the date was wrong for that.
Person B was wrong for that.
Yeah. And also shared, why do people feel that you have to lower your standards to where they can be okay for you to date them?
Okay. So I just want to shout out whoever posted that, first of all. Obviously, we're not going to reveal the information. But I just want to tell some of our listeners, too, if you guys have similar stories and, this is some of the things that we want to do, moving forward. Like, we want to talk about certain things that happen in real people's lives and kind of how that's tangible. But at the same time, we don't want to reveal any information. We don't want people's information being out there. So we try to our best, I think, to both make it not confusing, but also interesting in a way.
Yeah, like I don't want to, because, sometimes when you have very strong opinions about things, people get upset by that fact.
Yeah, I mean,
and feel like, oh, you're against them.
Right. And we're just exploring.
Yeah, I just thought it would make a very good topic to talk about, because I thought that was very interesting on both sides. Trying to understand.
Let's make it about us, because I think that helps a little bit.
Okay, that would help.
So if tomorrow I lose my job, well, I mean, maybe not, because you still mess with me, right? If I lose my job right now and I start working at, like, let's just say a fast food joint, would you turn around and be like, wait, nah, I don't mess with you? Am I being confusing? You're looking at me perplexed.
Crickets. Chirp, chirp.
You be judging me.
Chirp,
It looks like you be judging me. Like, hold on.
No, well, I mean, okay, so if me and you went on a date, and
I would love to. When's the date?
We went on a blind date, and you said to me, would you date me if I worked at a fast food place?
So this is you asking me this?
No, you're asking me.
Oh.
Would you date me if I worked at a fast food place?
I wonder if that matters, if it's because I'm a man. And that's in that instance.
That's a good
because, there's a lot of society pressures that a man is supposed to earn a certain amount. He's supposed to have certain status by a certain age. Right. So if you see a man that's like, let's say he's 35 and he doesn't have a steady job or career track, you kind of looking at him like, what you doing with yourself? Versus a woman that's 35, it may not be that same connotation and
if
expectation.
We put this in perspective. If it were us in that scene.
Right.
And
so what would you say? Yeah.
You said that to me. Well, there's two things to kind of touch on. I guess what the response would be to the guy saying, well, to you saying,
what would you say though? If
you
I
can
were,
get up and leave, and so that you don't look.
so
so
I'm
it
still
won't that
asking you,
great.
what would you say?
Um,
Like if tomorrow we break up and you were dating again, and a homie comes up to you and he's like, "Yo, just same scenario. Like, would you kind of be like, like, what would you? What's your?
well, my first question
And he's 35.
to him would be like, well, when you say you work at a fast food joint, what do you do?
So you would explore.
Yeah, I wouldn't just be like, no.
Are you
And maybe there was a little bit of that, and this was just like the summary of the events. But my first reaction would be like, so when you say work, what do you mean? Like, do you own a franchise? Are you a manager?
Right.
Are you a regional manager? Corporate? Like,
I mean,
what does it look like?
Fast
Because
food.
you
We're not gonna
you could
name
have
them,
put it out there,
but some fast food restaurants are multi-billion-dollar companies.
right? Because you could have put it out there just to see if I was a shallow person, just to throw something at
And
me
I think
to see what my response.
I think this is where it gets to.
And that's the first thing I thought about when I read it. Like, well, what if he was just saying that
Right.
to try to see if you were shallow? And I mean, you can't really fault the person for giving such an honest answer. If you know right off the bat that you're not going to date that
you mean
person.
in this situation, in the scenario,
The
it would be person
poster.
A, the poster.
The poster, yeah.
Right.
Being honest, because I think we had mentioned before in another one of our podcasts, Imperfect Match, when we spoke a little bit about
The cookie?
not the cookie. We're not gonna go back down that cookie road again. But when we spoke a little bit about when
What?
you see the person, it's not a reciprocal relationship. So it being one-sided, how do you tell the other person? Or if it's just something that you want, just that, if it is the cookie that you just want, then to just say that. Being upfront and just saying what it is before we get later down the line and then there regrets.
I think so. I want to say two things. So first of all, if you was asking me the question, right? I was on a blind date with you.
Mm-hmm.
I personally would not care where you work at.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't matter if you work at Wall Street or you work at.
Can you really say that honestly?
No, because
in a
I
date
can expect. I
scenario
think
or
in a date scenario,
or like we're meeting each other for the first time, or
date scenario,
now
blind date.
So now what you know of me and your expectations is part of the second half of the relation.
I don't know you.
Okay.
We never met before. We're in a blind date.
Considering what you would want from a partner,
I'm not trying to start a relationship with you. I don't go on blind dates to try to find my soulmate. I don't do that. Now.
So what are you going on a blind date for?
To fuck?
Yeah. See, I don't know.
I'm just saying. Like, if I'm going on a blind date, now, I might find my match. Don't get me wrong. That may happen. I may find someone that I click well with, that we vibe well with, and then we like having sex, and then I'll explore other things. But I wouldn't really care. You work McDonald's, cool. That's awesome. You pay your bills. I honestly don't care. I'm more worried about, does she look good? Is she crazy? You know what I mean? She won't cut my head off before we leave tonight.
So then it's just safe to say that if the question was posed to you, you just wouldn't care.
No,
where
like,
the person was.
cool. It don't, and I think that's because I'm a man and I'm less interested in what you do as a career, only because we're not there yet. We're not there. It's our first date. We're not. Why does it matter? That doesn't matter.
And I think that would be the difference with.
So, and I want to say just before I forget, my second point is to person B in a situation. Why are you asking those questions? Why does that interest you so much? You're going on the first date blind date. Like, get to know the person first.
Well, what if that was one of their markers to try to get to know that person?
But it's still a terrible question to ask.
I think when you go on a date, for me, I'm not just trying to go to see if I could fuck. Save that for Tinder or whatever.
I mean, I thought it was a Tinder.
Well, it could have been anything, and just a blind date, or maybe it was Tinder. I don't know.
I mean, even if it is a blind date or Tinder, I'm
dating,
still
period.
that's
like,
still in my head. Like,
But why do you even expect that you're gonna get some on the first date?
Because
anyway?
why would I be trying to why not shoot for the stars? Why not try to get that? I mean, it might take more than one date,
know
but
what she got. Don't you want
I
to
don't
get to
think
know
you
the
worried
person?
about that kind of stuff.
See,
when
you should be worried about that kind of stuff. Cause
so
it's
much
like,
things to worry about in life
yeah,
these days.
but again, you can't just stick your dick in anything.
I mean, that's what they got, rubbers and
Yeah, but
get extra careful. She put on a rubber, you put one on.
No,
You put
two
one
and
in your
two
arm just in
don't
case.
Make one. No.
Put one in your finger when you.
2 and 2 don't make one.
I'm just saying, like that's usually what's on what would be on my mind as a male, and I may be saying males like very generally speaking, but I'm a male, and that's what I would be thinking whenever I'm going on a blind date, and just I'm thinking of not
Just to fuck.
not to fuck, but I'm just want to have fun. Like, what's going on? Like, what's up? What's up with you? How you doing? You look good. You know what I mean? You want to have a drink or two?
So there's nothing you want to get to know the person?
Not that I would care about whether or not they're right on their career path. I'm not trying to have a baby with you on the first date. I'm not trying to marry you or have a life with you on the first date.
We understand all of that, but
that should come with time.
Do you not want to know if
how
you can
high
have
on
a
the corporate
conversation
ladder
with
they're
this?
in?
Well, not that, but just if you can sit down and actually have a conversation with them. And usually, what are the things that we talk about to see how intellectual a person is? Like, you want to talk about career. What are your goals?
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. I think if you have good conversational skills, you can stop. You don't have to talk about the most basic conversation markers, which is like the weather.
But I also think too, maybe age plays a big part, because if you're probably like 30 something
versus 22.
Yeah. If you're probably 30
or
something
18.
and you're going on this date, I would say maybe there's a 60% chance that you're trying to look for somebody to be serious
60%?
with.
Oh, you get that 60%?
I didn't want to say 9 times out of 10 because
60% is very
60%.
arbitrary. Where you
No,
getting
it's
that
not.
from?
I kind
This
of
is
wanted
the
to say,
rosy
I wanted to
statistics.
say 50-50, but I was like, let me give it a little bit more.
Well, I think
At
more
that
people.
age,
I think it's safe to say
you're more
more
likely wanting to look for a partner.
Right. More people at that age might be looking for something more substance in their
supple
person they're dating, but maybe not. Maybe they're just trying to have a nice time, and that goes both ways.
I don't see anything wrong with trying to have a conversation with somebody, or even if it is,
I love conversation.
You make a good point.
I love a conversation.
You make a good point by
but
saying,
I don't think a job is. I don't
make
think
a good
work,
point by saying that it doesn't have to start off that serious on the first date. But
I
again,
don't-
we don't really know if this is
I just think
you went on a date and that was the question posed to you.
I strongly believe that unless your work is like an astronaut or something crazy, that whatever you have to say about your work is not going to be interesting. Because most people got jobs that are very not interesting.
But I don't think the point was really to just focus on what kind of job do you have. It was more like trying to evaluate the other person's
I'm trying to relate to me.
Values.
I'm trying to relate it to me in a sense where it's like, I don't care about what you do for your living. Not in my first date. I don't really care. I'm more worried about what makes you tick. What makes you interesting? What do you like to do? What's your hobbies?
And you don't think, I guess if you're looking for exact answers to that question, because for me, I like to, like, if I pose a question based on your answer, I guess I'll make an inference, or I guess I'll make my opinions based on how you answer and what you say, as opposed to just taking the word for word at face value. I guess
I think I give you an equivalent, right? I got the perfect equivalent of what would it be. So the equivalent scenario where I think a woman in that sense, she would get up and walk away. Or anyone will get up in a way. If it's you ask me, do you live with your mom? And I'm 35 and I say, yeah, I live with my mom. That sense of, I think anyone thinking about.
I don't think I
most
would be
like,
that rude and
that would be
like,
kind of
I'm
cringe.
gonna get up and.
But that's a cringe.
I mean, so I don't have to end a date.
But that's still a cringe. It's still like, oh, like you 35, you still live with your parent. Like, what's going on there? Like,
well, maybe you're trying to save money.
Okay, but
maybe you're taken care of.
Right, but it's still cringeworthy, even if you don't
mean,
go
again,
further.
My first
it's
question
similar to the whole
would
McDonald's,
be, the
the whole fast food thing. do you work as a corporate Wall Street, or do you work in downtown
I would
Brooklyn?
want more information. Because again, maybe it's because like in my job, these are the skills I have to apply. When someone says something, it's not just whatever you said. I need more details to kind of like make an inference or come up with a solution, but I need more information. Yeah, I guess. So it's not just, okay, because you said this is it. That's probably why, like, I overthink things sometimes and make it, a little bit more complicated than it needs to be.
Right.
Because I'm overanalyzing.
Attention to detail.
Right. So in that scenario, again, the person asking the question is not wrong for putting it out there and saying, okay, well, I'll let you leave. He didn't feel like he needed to continue to date.
I think he felt like he was like, I'm not trying to mess with no gold digger.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was trying to do. Or
or
she, or them, whatever.
Whatever. Let's say he, okay? Please. It's just getting too confusing now.
Confusing.
So it was a he, right?
It was a he.
But what if that was really his scenario? I mean, the poster said that she didn't think it was. But what if that was really his thing? Like, he
so let's
did
get to
work
the second part.
But I feel like there's still more on the first part.
Okay.
Right? So what if he really did? Like, that was what he did. If we take it for face value for what it says, you work at a fast food joint, flipping burgers or cleaning the floor.
Hands down, I think that poses a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he works at the fast food restaurant, that means he has a very limited income.
Right.
So he may not be able to buy all the drinks. He may have to
He may not even pay for this date.
He might be able to have to split some drinks. He might have to, he might not have his own place. He might not have a car.
He gonna try to do the whole take the hair out of his crotch and put it on the
we saw that in a movie or something, right?
We did see it in a movie. Kevin Hart did that. What movie was it? I forgot.
I don't know.
Night School.
Night School. Okay. That was pretty funny. Like, and I think that's something similar. He didn't have the funds to kind of pay for the date.
He just couldn't keep up I think it was to pay for everybody, the whole table.
Yeah, it was like. Anyway.
But I would think that.
But and I think that's why a woman, or just a person would just say, "Yeah, if you worked at McDonald's, how we going? We can't." Like,
I mean, just because
they work at McDonald's,
but just because they work at McDonald's, it doesn't mean.
I think that's just the first impression.
Just because they work at Wendy's, McDonald's, or whatever, doesn't mean that they can't afford to date.
That's the first
maybe
impression.
Maybe you can't go buy maybe you won't.
Won't.
Maybe you wouldn't see it as cost effective.
That's the stereotype attached
to spend $300 on a bottle of wine to enjoy for the evening.
That's a whole paycheck, right?
So you might just want to go with happy hour specials.
And what if she used to? Maybe she used to a certain lifestyle.
Right.
Maybe she got the income of 6 figures. So she can buy the rosé. She could buy the top shelf.
So is it like she just wants somebody to match her status?
It could be.
Or is it that, well, she's
you get with someone to you get someone on your level or someone to elevate you.
Right.
Never
and
under.
That's what I kind of figured. Like, maybe this person is somewhere in the middle and just saying, well, I'm not going to lower my standards to someone who's working at a fast food who probably can't keep up with me with my spending. And it's not even just, I think I'm better than you, but it could just be, this is the kind of lifestyle I'm accustomed to. Like, I want to eat out every day. I want to go. Yeah, I don't cook, so I buy food. But I'm fine with buying food, but you have to be okay with that. Right. So maybe the fact that you work at a fast food place, you might be a little bit more
intimidated.
And you might be a little bit more wary about your coins because
she may have experience that she dated other people who've done in that situation.
Right.
And it's just like, nah.
So the second half of the scenario was that, why do people feel that you should lower your standards to where they can be okay for you to date them?
That's a little confusing.
It is. It is only because I don't think in that scenario was really about lowering your standards. Like, I could see how you might connect the two, but I don't really think. What I gathered from it was that that person maybe was just trying to see where their date's head was
I'd
in
be
terms of being a
curious.
gold digger, and if you're just about money.
I'd be very curious to figure out why the guy was so adamant about ending the date right after she said no. Like, most guys don't give up that easy. They would like, they just be like, oh, so well, tell me why more. Like, why would you? And they kind of try to entertain the idea and kind of go along with it and kind of like see what happens.
There
But
was
he
some
was so
other
adamant of just like,
yeah, there was
okay, this is
some
done.
other chatter. So sometimes when people put things out there, they don't include all the details
Right.
for whatever reason. So there might be
But
more
this is all
to
we
it,
have, so
right? So there were some other conversations about, you know, I think the same person had also, maybe it was like one of her followers or something.
Peoples.
Yeah. And it kind of said something like, well, I already know that I'm not in your lane. So that's why, I just chose to do this. And everyone is just like, oh, he must have a small penis, or his
Small penis.
Ego, his ego might,
Does it always
just
have to be small penis?
because you're not going to quite meet that mark with that person.
So if you worked at
So you just
McDonald's
shoot
but you had a
yourself-
big penis, that makes up for it? I'm just curious.
No, I mean, don't take it so literal.
I'm asking.
Just no.
Would the penis size
Be a
and I think
penis
this is a valid point here. Would the penis size
Oh, you'd be like, well,
change?
he work at
Yeah,
fast food,
like,
but he got some good dick.
He work at that
well, it is not even gonna
he
get
bring
there.
me free
It's not gonna get there. At least you'll be able to eat every day, right?
Hey,
Not
listen,
healthy,
everyone
but
need that fix every now and
not
then.
healthy, but at
Get
least
the
you'll
free
be eating
medium
every day
fries, you know what I
'cause
mean?
you get the free food. But anyway, I think to the point of the poster was more so, well, you cannot get mad at the fact that I'm not gonna be with you.
I don't think he got
because-
mad though.
Okay, so you cannot get mad at the fact that I'm not gonna be with you, and I choose not to lower my standards and go with someone who's really not up to par with my goals and where I want to head in life and whatever.
I don't think it was that though. I don't think the reason she was mad was because of that. It's because she didn't have an opportunity to kind of like say her piece.
Right, like
It
he
was
got
more
to
like
it first.
yeah.
like,
Like he cut it axe, and she's like, "Oh hell no, you don't get the
Yeah,
get the
'cause
last."
it was like,
la-
first of all, fuck you.
like you don't get.
Who do you think you are?
You didn't reveal that though. You kind of.
Well, now I did.
So she kind of like she's probably one of those boss women who
Mhm.
wants the last word, who wants to always be on first, and losing control for that split second over the situation kind of had her like, oh hell no, like did this
Well, I
just
think it
happen?
was more so like the audacity, because maybe it's a really nice person, right? And then
So that he look good, like
no, I'm saying the poster. Maybe
you know, like the light skinned dude with blue eyes. What's his name? The actor.
Michael
always forget-
Ealy
Yeah, Michael Ealy.
or
I'm just
Brian
saying.
White.
Oh,
He
it's
don't
Brian
have
White.
blue eyes.
I don't know who's
but-
Brian White.
Or Amari Hardwick.
He sounds familiar.
Power.
I don't watch Power.
Mm.
I know people by you screaming like, "You don't watch Power." I don't watch Power.
Mm.
You can see her face, guys.
So anyway,
Still thinking about Chadwick, huh?
yeah, no, Chadwick.
It's not
No,
Chadwick. What you
no,
said?
No.
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Black Panther. What's the guy name? I forgot his name.
Who?
The guy you're dreaming about. Jesus Christ. What is his name?
Omar.
Omar.
Omari.
You just forgot his
Omari or
name?
Omar. Oh my God.
Omar Epps.
No.
Where he's been at these days.
I don't know. Call him and ask him.
I wish I had his number. I'd be like, yo, what up?
I got the number.
I loved you in Paid in Full, whatever movie he was.
In Too Deep. Think about
Into
it.
Deep.
Think about it.
Think Like a Man. I don't know. I don't know my movies that well. I watch cartoon movies mostly, so.
I can't. How the hell did we go from a serious ass conversation to talk about?
But you
cartoon
said
movies?
not the structure.
I gotta look up Omari Hardwick.
Hard. You sound like you're about to
It's
say hard
hard.
dick.
Yeah.
Or
probably
Mario
got a
hard dick. Or not. You might not. What the hell were we talking about?
He's so handsome, though. Hey, Omari. Ew.
You might hear this, so
I would hope so.
you don't get no funny
Hi.
ideas.
I'll just be like, hi.
Back off, Amari.
Oh, please. Anyway. So
So that was like a 5-minute tangent.
So, with lowering your standards, it to read the story from what it was, it did sound a little shallow. Because again, my first reaction was, well, how do you know that they actually work like just flipping burgers or, cleaning bathrooms or whatever.
That could be said about the guy too, though. Because again, he could be working in corporate, and the mere fact that a woman hears the fact that he said he works at McDonald's or whatever, makes him automatically assume, oh, she's this kind of grade of woman, so I don't want to mess with that kind of woman. Because she might be okay with the fact that
I'm sorry, but you have like a dot of sauce right on your cheek near your lip, and I can just see it like moving.
So did you have to say that?
Yeah, because I could just see it moving.
I mean, we just had ribs.
I can see it moving.
They were pretty good. Is it gone? I can't. Oh, I can feel it.
Yeah, it's just like it's
It's
you
crusty.
don't want to let go. It's like, no,
God,
I'm
this is,
holding on.
Is it gone?
Move your hand.
Why are we doing this on video? Could we like edit this out?
What video?
I mean, audio.
You just want to be on video. Anyway, so that could be said about the guy.
Yeah, we can't Pornhub. I mean,
Pornhub.
we're gonna have
Having some technical difficulties here.
A stain section
What are you gonna
category.
call that? Yeah, what is it?
I don't know.
Not
Cum stains. Wait, whoa. We're gonna have our own Pornhub category. We're gonna call
Sauce
it
stains?
sauce stains wiping. It's
I
gonna be
can't.
just slow wiping of sauce stains on like shirts or cheeks.
That could be an ASMR video too.
Yeah, that's
probably
they got
what that
that
sounds
neither.
like. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that could be heard.
All right,
Anyway,
what are we talking about?
anyway.
See,
No,
this is what happens when
but-
we don't structure our
But you
episodes.
said that that could be said the same thing that could be said about it's the tequila.
It's tequila.
So
You did.
you mentioned that could be the same
For the
that-
guy, let me help you out. For the guy who may be earning the 6-7 figures, and in the moment he says that to a woman about, oh,
I
what-
make 6 figures.
he may automatically assume, oh, this woman is a certain gold digger, or so I don't want to mess with this kind of woman. So he automatically assumes certain things about her based on just her answer. So
Right.
it could be both ways.
Right, definitely. That's a good point.
This is what I mean. Like, is this the first date? I think genuinely there's a large population. I want to say 90% because I think it's rare to find someone who genuinely loves their job. I just think it's hard to find that. And if you do,
Well, you do have people who genuinely love their job. They love what they do because it's
they might like what they do, but might not like where they are. So it's a love and hate relationship that a lot of people have about their job.
I guess when you're like not your own boss kind of
That's
thing.
true, and that's always an issue.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I want to say like 90% of people. So when you go on blind dates, or you go on first dates, you don't want to talk about the one thing that you hate. You want to talk about things that you love.
But again, it wasn't about just talking about
talk about
jobs.
that Game of Thrones episode or something.
But it wasn't just about talking about jobs. It was more so, I guess, try to get an understanding of where that person's head is at, right? So one of the things I thought about when I read the part about what
equipment.
if you... What?
I'm not.
Stop talking about penis.
I didn't say penis.
You said equipment.
I said not in your equipment. You said where
What?
their hat
Don't
is at.
jizz in your equipment?
No,
what?
you said
what are we
because
saying?
you don't know where their hat is at. I'm like, no,
Oh,
definitely
not
in
on your
his
equipment. Pa-boom, tsh. Anyway, so one of the things I thought about when I read the thing about lowering your standards,
Mm-hmm. You should
you
never
know,
lower your standards.
why do people feel like you need to? But couldn't that be the same thing he would be thinking? If
Huh?
Huh? If the poster said that, why do people get offended about the fact that you don't want to lower your standards to suit them or to be okay to date them?
Okay. Because it might be that the standards might be a little high. And
Who,
it's
that
like,
person?
Yeah, like, especially
But my thing,
if they have some kind of
my
bias.
thought was, what if he had a certain type of standard too, that he would be moving away from that
Right.
comfort zone as well
Right.
by dating you? Whether
Well,
it is
it's similar
that
to,
he
like-
is, whether it is that he is not really someone who works the floor at a fast food place, or if he is. Because if he has set his own standards of what he feels is acceptable, why does he have to move away or shy away from that as well? I mean, I'm all for not lowering your standards.
So
I'm more for like giving people a chance, like getting
No.
to know. Yeah, you're right.
No.
Because I'm
you
not.
should never lower your standards, but you should always try to think out the box. So
Or eat the box.
I'll eat the box. You should always consider what your standards are and kind of explore around those standards, and not to be
And
too
that could be
constrained.
said for anything.
Yeah,
in
because
any situation.
Just because you like
eat
tall
the
people,
box is okay.
if you like tall people or you like
know?
a certain skin tone,
You know, some people like, I can't
Can I
eat the box.
finish?
I don't eat
you
fish.
keep all talking boxes
I
over
don't
there.
eat fish.
Why don't you break that box down over there?
I don't eat fish.
I didn't say eat. I said break it down.
Break down what?
The box that we just got into shipment. Anyway, I forgot completely what I was saying. Jesus.
Did a tequila
What was I
dance.
saying? I find it offensive because I'm the Spanish one and I don't ever do that.
When you get a tequila shot, isn't that like something they do?
Who
They,
does
like,
that?
Pour it in your mouth and
no
they do
one,
that.
No
Stop.
one does that.
I remember I used to do Jane Fonda exercise DVDs, and she had a segment where she would do like different things.
What are we talking about
Hold
here?
on. She had a segment where she would do different
my
themes, and that was one of the themes of like some cha-cha-cha.
They can't see you shimmering back and forth.
I'm doing a cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha, and then that was part of it, and it's like, and that was
You
the
like
fun
doing that,
part,
don't you?
because then you do a breakdown and start dancing, and that was the fun part.
What
But
was
anyway,
what was I saying?
yeah,
I'm completely forgot what I said.
never lower your standards.
Okay, so never lower your standards, but be open to possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you like a particular skin tone, a particular type of job, a particular kind of income, just be willing to explore around that. So let's say you like a guy who has 6 figures, has a certain skin tone, has a certain height. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you find someone who's slightly under that your preference or slightly over your preference. Just explore it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just shoot it
But can you
down
do
with a
both?
rocket
'Cause
launcher out the
aren't you
sky.
kind of lowering your standards then?
It's not about lowering your standards
'Cause
because
it-
you might be happy. Because one thing in a world that everyone should
does
know.
it mean that if you
no
lower
one-
it,
hold on.
it's a bad thing?
Wait. The reason why I say that is because no one in this world knows what they want. So in your head, you might think about it
I want
like,
some water right now.
I kind of do too. No one in this world knows what they want. You could sit there and say, yeah, I want $1 million and I want a man who's 7 feet tall
Phone.
and I want the latest iPhone. And when you get all that, you're going to be sitting there like,
What's next?
I want other things. So no one in this world knows what they want. And even sometimes when you get what you want, it's not really what you want. It's not really what makes you happy. So don't shoot down every possibility that comes your way because life is limited. So if you find someone who, let's say they don't have 7 figures, maybe they got 6 figures, and they're slightly under your preference of skin color or whatever the case may be, just find out about the
You
person.
have a thing about the skin.
I don't know, because certain people like
it
certain
puts
people
the
like
lotion on the skin.
Some people like, like the darker tones, the lighter tones. Some
Yellow
people like
tones.
the yellow tones. I think I said that in a previous episode.
Interracial relationships. Yes,
Oh
you
my
did.
god!
Go listen to it if you
don't-
haven't.
Don't bring that up, Lord. This is embarrassing. It's one of my like Freudian slips or something. And I was thinking about the Power Rangers at that time, and it's
Yeah,
like
but that was pretty
super. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I found that after I became an adult, I was like, that's. But I grew up with the Power Rangers, but it was like super like.
Now who's going off?
I know. I'm sorry. This episode is not
This episode is cool.
like. She had too much tequila, guys. I apologize for this.
Don't
may
make
have
me
to
do
put-
it.
We might have to put this on the vault or something.
Don't make me do it.
Unaired episodes.
Don't make me do it.
Do what? I'm gonna go back on topic.
So, I don't want to use the term "never lower your standards."
Explore your standards.
I guess
Just
explore
explore it.
everything
In front of a mirror if you have to.
Exploration.
Just make sure you have plenty of lighting.
Get 2 mirrors if you want.
Get a ceiling mirror.
Yeah.
I'd be scared of that. What if it breaks? Be like some Final Destination joint. Remember that movie, Final Destination? What happened to
so
those?
who had tequila, me or you?
I'm just remembering.
Anyway, I don't want to just stick to the whole never lower your standards. I mean, if you want what you want, cool. And if you set certain standards for yourself that you want to live by, that'll help you become a better you, fine. But I also think it's just as important to consider other things other than just only what you know. Like try something different. Since you're out there dating anyway, so you're testing the waters on different things. So, I would assume that this path you've chosen to date people, basically whatever else you've tried has not worked.
I think what you said, though, can apply to everything in life.
Right.
The type of job you choose, the type of food you eat,
Right.
the type of places you like to go visit,
Right.
everything.
I mean, you play it safe because you know what you know and you like what you like.
And you may just genuinely like what you like, and you don't ever want to try another. But if it comes your way,
If it crumbs your way.
if it comes your way,
come.
if it comes your way in your face,
All in
just
your face.
just give it a
Just
chance. You'd
dripping
be like,
down your leg,
just give it a chance.
your mouth, your
Don't.
chin,
This is happening too much this episode.
as your eyes close. As you gag.
Are we sexually meditating now?
Oh, that would be good.
Sexual meditation.
Yeah. Think about it. But as it comes your way,
Just try it. Just be open to it. Give it a try. You may not like it. You may figure out like, whoa, I really don't like that. But at least you know for a fact, like, oh, I really don't like that. And
Well, I guess
I
that
think I'm
person
a
can
big
also
hypocrite
say-
because it's often hard for me to try certain new things. It's just like, yeah, nah, I'm just gonna stay home.
I guess it depends on what it is because I think you're more
Like I ain't skydiving all the time, so I ain't doing that.
I totally want to do that.
Nah, I'm good.
But I think you're more into trying new things than me. But I guess in certain situations.
Depends on what it is.
Right.
Like I won't try new foods.
Yeah.
I won't ever do that.
Well, I usually play safe too because it's like you can't mess up certain, like chicken, you can't mess that up. So let's just get chicken. But
Yeah, but I mean like for example, if today we'd be like, let's try something different. I'm thinking like the different for me would be like, oh, let's try like Japanese food or let's try Spanish food or which I know if me being Spanish is like kind of like, wait, you try Spanish food? But for some people, different might be, let's go eat Indian food for like an actual authentic Indian restaurant. And I'm just like, no, I cannot do that. I won't be open to going to try that because it's like, based on what I've heard, is like, I don't think it would agree with my palate. So, and I think we've gone to several places where we like has been. I think we're getting off track here again with Indian food, but yeah. So I guess it depends. So, 'cause some people are open to try different things in certain aspects of their life when it comes to maybe hobbies, sexuality, dating, but they might not be open about choosing about food,
Right.
Because they may have allergies or something like that. So
I mean, that's pretty specific,
Yeah.
but other than
and just
not wanting
you don't
to,
like spicy food, or
well,
you do
not
like
wanting to
spicy
try
food.
something that's going to be nasty, because most of the times when you go outside the box, then get it, then you might be a little bit disappointed. But going back to the scenario, I think I've become a little bit more accepting of certain things
Like
and thinking. I mean, I'm still kind of rigid and firm with certain things, but
how far?
very firm. But I think a little bit more deep about things other than just it's as simple as the boy crossed the street. I'm just thinking, well,
I
how
have
fast?
no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Be specific. I don't. What are you talking about? You've been rigid with some ideas, like what? In what aspect of your
Well,
life?
when you say never lower your standards,
Okay, so what standards?
but in dating, whatever, what do you want? What you want in a man?
So what you want? I want to hear it.
I want you to shut up so I can speak.
Okay.
So, thinking about that statement, never lowering your standards, I'm not only going to take that for never lower your standards. I'm thinking, well, okay, yes, you can have specific guidelines in which you choose your mate or who you want to date. But understanding that everything is not going to come in this complete package. And like you said, it's okay to try or go with the person that has that one less detail. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're lowering your standards.
Just try it out. See what happens.
Right.
I think they were both wrong though. It just they're both wrong in the sense of like, I don't think he should have been asked that kind of question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that important for that initial contact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have talked about everything in the world other than
I mean, again,
people.
again, if you're talking about a woman who's very powerful and has a certain personality, and you get a chance to go on a date with her and you meet her and then you realize that, well, what if I did work at a fast food place? And it probably wasn't like literally fast food, or he works for corporate and, you know, he could just be trying to see if she's a gold digger. It could have just been like, what if he did another type of job that you might not have high expectations for? You know, like it brings in decent money, but when you, yeah, it brings in decent money, but when you think about it, it's like, okay. And just putting an example out there, put an example out there just to see where
a garbage man,
where they make a lot of money. So
they make a lot of money, but
yeah.
they smell like garbage.
Yeah. But put an example out there just to see where that person's head was. And I don't, on one hand, I can say, well, you know, him being honest and just saying, okay, I don't want to further continue this date. Let's end it right here. And
I'd still be mad because you still made me get on that Uber right here. Or that bus
right
ride
so that's
here.
what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, good that he was man enough to say, well, it's
You're
not going to
DM
be
me
able.
that.
Good enough. He probably did to get the date, right? Good enough for him to say, okay, let me not waste your time any further because I know I'm not going to be up to par with you. You know, I can't fault him for being honest and just saying, like, I can't continue this date. Let's not go forward because I'm just not going to be good enough for you. But then also it's just like you said, what a waste of time for everybody to put in that effort to come here to sit down, dress up, look good, and then you're just gonna be like, all right, yeah, so no, we can't continue. It's just not gonna work. You know, it could have just went on.
You're gonna put that in your profile and then let people choose whether or not they want to come date you.
Right? Like the 3 questions they ask you on Walking Dead before you can join them.
How many walkers have you killed?
How many dicks have you sucked?
How many fast food restaurants have you worked? Like, if you put that in your profile, people be like, okay, swipe right or swipe left.
Yeah.
Why would you do all this traveling, and then
I
he's
mean,
like,
maybe people get thrills out of doing certain things, and then you realize, oh gosh, this is too much for me. I can't continue. And then
like what?
but again, before it got deeper, because he could have faked his way and pretend and finesse and do all of that, and just not be about shit. You know what I mean? So again, I can say good on him for just putting it out in the open right off the bat to say,
Nah, he was.
yeah,
he
it's
was an
not
ass.
gonna. But then it was such a waste of time to put all that effort into something for you to just be like, yeah, no.
He's completely no. He's completely.
But I think he realized that he just wasn't gonna be up to par. He thought he could handle it, and he seen it was a real woman walking up in there, like. And then I'm also wondering too, because I think a little bit more into like the comments and shit, you see that I think she mentioned something like you lost a real one. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe she herself wanted to.
I doubt it. It just seemed like her ego was on 100. Like she's just.
This
not
is why
trying to
I
hear
think
that.
it was that he wasn't really somebody who worked at a fast food place, and he was just trying to see if she was a gold digger or not, and if it's just like,
Yeah, it's what does a person that work at a fast food restaurant look like? They look like me and you. They look like regular people, especially when they get dressed up to go out. They wear their best stuff. They wear their brand new sneakers. Maybe they may buy new sneakers just for that date, or they might not wear sneakers. They might wear a suit, wear their father's suit. You know what I mean? It just happens to fit them perfectly. And they might have a nice button up and they go out.
I thought you was gonna say they have a nice butt in it.
Well, button up.
I mean, maybe you have a nice butt in your suit.
And
I know I do.
Okay, you wear suits. You know what I'm saying? And he could look like $1 million, because that's what you're supposed to look like when you go out. You're supposed to look like your version of $1 million.
So that's what I was wondering too, if the response came because like he was bullshitting and like trying to play you, so that's why your response was just like, why I have to lower my standards for you?
I think so.
You're a bitch for doing that. Tell me I can get up and leave. Like, who the fuck are you? So I was just thinking, well, that person was just hurt by that kind of response. It was like, oh, really? That's how you're gonna treat a beautiful woman like me?
I mean, I can't.
I think that's what triggered the emotion.
There's certain things that when I look at a scenario like this, it's just like I'm thinking about motive. I'm thinking about what kind of information you're trying to get out from this, and how does it suits your greater intention and good in your life.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about finding out whether or not she's a gold digger or not helping you in your life?
Well,
because are you planning to marry this woman anytime soon? You just met her.
30-something, you're looking for something serious, not just casual sex or,
Yeah, but everything. Okay, just barring casual sex, people who out there just want to have fun, casual sex. Typically, everything starts with casual sex. Everything.
No, it doesn't.
No. What I mean by that, it means that it's the pursuit of just let me date someone, let me meet someone. We may have casual sex, we may not have casual sex, but just let me meet people, and it may evolve into something that's more serious. You may find out that you have more in common with them than you previously thought, and then you start exploring possibilities. Next, you're dating for 3 years,
right?
And then you realize
maybe he's coming into it having been there, done this 10 times. And so it's just like, let me put this out on the table. Let me see where you are.
And then you're perfectly right. So then you should have put it on your profile. Why are you hiding that fact? Why are you trying to bait switch women? You work at Wall Street, and then when they come in, if I worked at McDonald's, would you be okay with that? And they be like, no. Oh, this done then. that no. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's deception. That's like, that's like me. It's like people who get catfished. Like, you get a picture of a person who looked like, I don't know, what was that fancy guy's name? I forgot his name. Omari. And then when they come in, they're looking like Beavis. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I guess.
No, like,
you're
it
definitely
just-
not gonna lower your standards for that.
It's not.
Like,
It's not. It's deception.
Yeah, this is not what I thought you looked like.
And people out there, you should be honest with what you. Trust me, there's nothing better out there than to be honest with what you want, who you are, and because
Cause you're gonna find somebody.
yeah,
for you.
you're gonna find somebody. Someone's out there, and be
Who
like, yo,
like
you
them.
work at McDonald's? Word up, I get some free fries. This is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for nothing crazy. Cause that's what they want, but because you're afraid of posting that stuff. But to say, hey, listen, I work a 9 to 5 at at fast food joint over here.
Right. It could have went so much better, as both adults, as two adults meeting to accomplish a goal. It could have went a lot better, and taken a more mature approach to it from both sides. To even if the date didn't go anywhere, I guess at that point it was he didn't feel like it was nothing to talk about. He wouldn't have been comfortable saying
I wonder if he was
but
going to talk to her about flipping techniques. Like he honestly wanted to have a conversation
how to
about
apply
like
the cheese.
how do you flip a burger and how do you put the cheese on it? At what point do you put the cheese on it? Do you put the pickles first or you put the cheese first? What kind of person are you? Maybe he just really wanted to have that conversation with a person, and
Maybe he wanted to take her on a date in the back, turn off all the lights in the
McDonald's?
store, in the fast food place,
oh,
wherever, in the store, turn off all the lights,
wasn't
put
that
on
didn't
some
that happen?
music, turn put on only the
Where you hear
stove lights.
The sizzling of the nuggets in the back.
Then as the timer goes off, and then
Beep,
you
beep, beep.
you just show her, come behind her, but like, listen, this is how you flip the fries in to the oil, and just listen to it as it sizzles. Wait
And
for
in
the
3,
timer.
2, 1. You hear the timeout. Beep, 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 beep.
Yep, and he's gonna twist his hips just like that too.
With his hand in the air. Beep, beep, beep.
That would make a pretty cool date, right? I mean, he could have made it work for him if that was the case. If both people were willing to work.
Some
I
people,
mean,
one person out there will be willing to be like, yo, that sounds like a hot date. That's a person trying to maximize what they have available to them
Yeah.
to be very romantic and loving.
yeah.
And you cannot hate that.
No.
Now,
But
whether or not
it
you want
won't
to
be where
judge their
that's the fast
standards,
food.
whether or not you want to judge their standards, that's on you. Judge
Right.
them all you want. But
Right.
that's what they got. That's what they got working with, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
When's the last time your man did all that for you? Close down a whole restaurant.
Exactly. Tell me.
Snuck in there.
When's the last time I did this?
Flip some fries for you.
Mm-hmm.
Did some hip gyrating.
Mm-hmm.
Showed you how to cook some nuggets.
Ain't that the truth, honey? But anyway, though,
I make pizza for you, okay?
my
I make hot
tequila,
oven pizza for you.
my tequila has ran out, and so that means
Re-up.
it's
Oh,
time
no.
to close the show.
Oh, really? I thought you was going to end the show the way I usually do it. It's like, well, I don't think we have anything else to talk about.
So, there's
Okay,
nothing else we have to talk about.
I am not
So,
goofy, okay?
Yeah.
I am not goofy.
So, yeah. There's nothing else. So, but if you liked, what we talked about here.
Guys, if you have any stories that you kind of want us to talk about, touch on, drop us a message on our website. We're not going to reveal who you are.
On the website, on the YouTube,
Instagram,
on email. Our email is on our website information.
Well, the easiest thing if they go on our website, everything's linked to us.
Right.
So you can
But,
just drop a message.
just Google Flatulent Thoughts. You'll see us pop up on all across social media. We have a Twitter. We have Instagram.
Some we use
have
more than others
YouTube.
because it is what it is.
We have a Facebook. So follow us on all of them. Or follow us on one. Whatever. Share, like, subscribe. All
Like,
that
we
good
love
stuff.
to hear stories and talk
Yeah.
about them. And
Let's
like,
start a conversation. Okay? It's
would you
it's a-
date that McDonald's guy? Like, for real?
Yeah. What
Hashtag-
would you do?
Hashtag fast food.
'Cause it's gonna be free. You know?
I mean, I had a cousin one time. She used to bring back mad food. Like, it was.
I mean, you might get tired of eating
It was
it,
the
but
nah,
you
bro,
know,
nah.
you might get tired of eating it, but you set because you never gonna be hungry.
Yo, it was lit.
Unhealthy, but you never gonna
Every
be
Friday
hungry.
it was lit. I tell you that right now.
But anyway, though, guys, if you really like this episode, just chime in the conversation. chime in on the conversation. Like, subscribe, comment, give us your feedback. Condoms, everything. Give us some feedback on what you think, what your thoughts are. Just
and if you have any
join the
juicy
conversation.
stories, let us know. We'll talk about it. We'll make an
Yes,
episode
we
just
will.
like this one, where we have no idea what we're talking about, and half of the time we're not talking about anything.
But we are
And-
talking about something.
And if you want, we can shout you out.
Yes,
too.
totally.
If you want us to do that, we'll shout you out. Link your stuff, your social medias and stuff if you want
All
people to
that
hit you
good,
up.
good. All that good, good.
But thank you guys for listening.
Thank you for
for supporting us. We'll have more content up soon. Stay tuned.
And
La, 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 la,